My friends, let me tell you something. Life is going to test you. Oh, it will push you, shake you, and some days it will feel like the whole world is against you. You will face storms, some big, some small. But the real question is, how do you show up? How do you respond? Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever own. It shapes your reality, builds your future, and determines how you experience every single moment of your life. What you think, you become. What you believe, you manifest. The power of your mind is limitless, but only if you learn how to harness it. The truth is, most people never fully tap into the strength of their own thoughts. They allow the world to dictate their mindset instead of taking control. But the moment you recognize that your mind is your greatest asset, everything begins to shift. Training your mind is just like training your body. If you want to get stronger, you don't just sit around and hope for muscles to grow. You lift, you push, you challenge yourself. The same applies to your thoughts. If you want a powerful mind, you have to feed it the right things. You have to guard it against negativity, self-doubt, and fear. You have to exercise discipline, focus, and resilience. Because a mind left untrained is a mind left vulnerable, and a vulnerable mind can be controlled by anything. Fear, anxiety, doubt, other people's opinions. Your mind is either working for you or against you. There is no in-between. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, that's exactly what you'll believe. If you focus on failure, you will see failure everywhere. But if you train your mind to seek opportunity, to find solutions, to believe in possibility, then doors will start to open where you once saw walls. The mind is a magnet. Whatever you hold on to the longest is what you will attract into your life. That's why it is so important to be intentional about the thoughts you entertain. Everything you consume is shaping your mind. The conversations you have, the content you watch, the books you read, the people you surround yourself with, it all feeds your subconscious. If you surround yourself with negativity, with people who complain, with messages of doubt and fear, your mind absorbs that energy. But if you surround yourself with inspiration, with knowledge, with people who challenge you to be better, your mind will expand in ways you never imagined. Your environment matters because your mind is always listening, always learning, always adapting. Discipline is the foundation of a powerful mind. It's easy to be motivated for a day, maybe even a week. But true mental strength comes from consistency. It's waking up every morning and choosing to direct your thoughts instead of letting them run wild. It's challenging yourself to see the good in difficult situations. It's refusing to be controlled by emotions, setbacks, or temporary failures. A disciplined mind does not waver at the first sign of struggle. It stands firm, focused, and ready. Self-awareness is the key to unlocking your mind's full potential. When you know yourself, your triggers, your strengths, your weaknesses, you gain control. You stop reacting out of habit and start responding with intention. You stop letting past experiences define your future. You stop giving your power away to circumstances you cannot control. A strong mind is not one that avoids hardship. It is one that knows how to navigate it without losing balance. Your thoughts create energy, and that energy influences everything around you. When you train your mind to think in alignment with your goals, you naturally start moving toward them. When you teach yourself to see setbacks as lessons instead of failures, you grow stronger. When you refuse to let fear dictate your decisions, you become unstoppable. The shift happens the moment you realize that everything you need to succeed is already inside of you. It has always been there, waiting for you to claim it. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your greatest enemy. It will push you forward or hold you back, but the choice is always yours. There is power in the pause. In a world that moves fast, where everything demands an instant response, the ability to stop, take a breath, and think before reacting is a rare strength. Most people operate on impulse, allowing emotions to dictate their words and actions without considering the consequences. But those who master the art of pausing, of giving themselves a moment to process before responding, hold an advantage. They are not easily shaken, not easily provoked, not easily swayed by the chaos around them. Reacting is instinctive, but responding is intentional. When something upsets you, your first impulse is often fueled by emotion, anger, frustration, fear. If you speak or act in that moment, you are not in control, your emotions are. But when you pause, you take back your power. You give yourself time to assess the situation, to decide what is worth your energy and what is not. That pause, even if it lasts just a few seconds, can be the difference between escalation and resolution, between regret and wisdom. The mind operates in two modes, reaction and reflection. Reaction happens in an instant. It's automatic, often fueled by past experiences and unresolved emotions. Reflection, on the other hand, takes effort. It requires you to step outside of the moment, to detach from your initial feelings and to see things from a broader perspective. The more you practice pausing, the more you shift from reacting to reflecting. And when you reflect, you make better choices. You communicate more effectively. You become someone who leads with wisdom instead of impulse. Pausing before reacting does not mean suppressing emotions. It means giving yourself the space to understand them. When someone says something hurtful, when life throws unexpected challenges your way, you are allowed to feel. But you don't have to let those feelings dictate your actions. A pause allows you to acknowledge your emotions without becoming controlled by them. It allows you to ask yourself, is this worth my energy? What is the best way to handle this? How do I respond in a way that aligns with my values? In moments of conflict, the pause is your greatest tool. When tension rises, whether in an argument, a disagreement, or a difficult conversation, your natural instinct is to defend, to prove a point, to fight back. But when you pause, you create space for clarity. You give yourself a chance to listen, to understand, to choose your words wisely. The strongest people are not those who speak the loudest, but those who know when silence speaks louder than words. A pause is not just for moments of conflict. It is for every decision you make. Before making a major choice, before committing to something, before saying yes or no, a pause allows you to check in with yourself. It gives you time to separate impulse from intuition. Too often, people make decisions in haste, only to regret them later. But when you practice the habit of pausing, you learn to move with intention, to act from a place of confidence rather than urgency. The ability to pause before reacting is a skill that must be developed. It takes practice. It requires mindfulness, self-awareness, and patience. At first, it may feel unnatural. You may still find yourself reacting out of habit, but over time, as you train your mind to slow down, to breathe before responding, it becomes second nature. You start to notice the difference in how you communicate, and how you handle challenges, and how you experience life itself. The world will always test your patience. People will push your buttons. Situations will arise that challenge your peace. But no matter what happens around you, the power to pause, to choose your response instead of being controlled by emotion, will always be in your hands. The world is unpredictable. One moment everything feels stable, and the next life throws an unexpected challenge your way. There will always be noise, distractions, conflicts, and uncertainties. No matter how much you try to control what happens around you, chaos will find its way in. But the truth is, peace is never about what's happening outside of you. It's about what's happening inside. It's not about waiting for life to be perfect. It's about learning to stay steady even when everything else is moving. People often think peace is something they will have once things settle down, once the job is secure, once the relationship is perfect, once the future is clear. But life does not work that way. There will always be another challenge, another problem, another unexpected turn. If peace depends on circumstances, then peace will always be temporary. But if peace comes from within, it becomes something no situation can take away. It becomes a foundation rather than a fleeting moment. Chaos does not have to dictate your emotions. You cannot stop the storm from coming, but you can choose how you stand in it. You can either let it shake you, let it control your thoughts and reactions, or you can take a deep breath and remind yourself that you are bigger than the storm. Every time life tests you, you have a choice. React with panic or respond with calm. The more you choose calm, the stronger you become. The more you choose peace, the more unshakable you grow. Peace is a habit. It is something you practice every single day. It's in the way you start your morning, in the way you handle stress, in the way you choose your words. It's in the moments when you want to react with anger but choose patience instead. It's in the times when negativity surrounds you but you refuse to absorb it. Peace is not just a feeling, it is a mindset, a way of showing up in the world. It is something you build within yourself until it becomes your default state. Not everyone will understand your peace. Some people thrive in chaos. They are addicted to drama, to negativity, to the rush of constant conflict. When you choose peace, you may find yourself walking away from people and situations that no longer align with your energy. That is not weakness, that is wisdom. Protecting your peace does not mean avoiding challenges. It means knowing what is worth your energy and what is not. It means setting boundaries, knowing when to engage and when to let go. Inner peace does not mean life is easy. It does not mean you will never feel stress, fear, or frustration. It means you do not let those emotions control you. It means you acknowledge them, process them, but do not let them take over your mind. You can experience chaos without becoming chaotic. You can face uncertainty without losing yourself in the unknown. Peace is not about avoiding life's difficulties. It is about meeting them with a steady heart and a clear mind. Finding peace requires self-awareness. It requires stepping back from situations and asking yourself, is this worth my inner calm? Is this something I can control? How do I want to respond? So much of life's stress comes from reacting without thinking. But when you pause, when you give yourself space to breathe, you realize that most things are not as urgent as they seem. You realize that peace is always an option, even in the middle of difficulty. The world will never be without chaos, but you do not have to be consumed by it. You are not here to be tossed around by every problem, by every moment of uncertainty, by every challenge life throws your way. You have the ability to create stillness inside of you, to walk through the noise without letting it break you, to choose peace no matter what is happening around you. Silence holds a power that words often cannot match. In a world where everyone is rushing to speak, to be heard, to prove a point, the ability to stay quiet is a rare and underestimated strength. Silence is not weakness. It is control. It is the ability to hold back when unnecessary words would only create more noise. It is the discipline to listen, to observe, to understand before responding. Those who master the art of silence do not waste energy on meaningless battles. They choose their words and their moments with intention. There is wisdom in silence. When emotions are high, when tempers flare, when a situation is tense, silence gives you space to think. It prevents you from speaking in anger, from saying something you might later regret. It allows you to gather your thoughts, to process what is happening, and to respond with clarity instead of impulse. Words spoken in haste can never be taken back, but silence can be the pause that saves you from unnecessary conflict. Silence is a teacher. When you stop talking and start listening, you learn more about people, about situations, about yourself. Most people listen only to respond, waiting for their turn to speak. But true listening, the kind that happens in silence, allows you to hear what is not being said. It helps you read between the lines, to pick up on emotions, intentions, and truths that words alone cannot express. It gives you an advantage, a deeper understanding of the world around you. There is strength in saying nothing when provoked. Not every battle deserves your attention. Not every argument requires your voice. Some situations are best handled with silence, by letting go, by walking away, by refusing to engage in negativity. People who understand their own strength do not need to prove it to everyone. They do not waste energy defending themselves against baseless opinions. They know that real power is not in shouting the loudest, but in knowing when silence speaks louder than words. Silence creates space for self-reflection. In the quiet moments when distractions fade and the world slows down, you can hear your own thoughts more clearly. You can sit with your emotions, process your experiences, and reconnect with yourself. The constant noise of life, opinions, expectations, outside pressures can drown out your inner voice, but silence allows you to return to yourself, to understand what you truly think, feel, and want. Not everyone is comfortable with silence. Some people fear it because it forces them to face their thoughts, their truths, their reality. But those who embrace silence understand its value. It is in silence that ideas are born, that creativity flourishes, that solutions appear. Some of the greatest decisions, the most powerful realizations, come not from talking, but from sitting in stillness and allowing clarity to rise. Silence is presence. It allows you to be fully in the moment, to experience life without distraction. In conversations, it allows you to truly hear others. In difficult moments, it allows you to remain steady. In times of uncertainty, it gives you the patience to wait for the right answers instead of forcing the wrong ones. Silence is not emptiness, it is awareness, control, and confidence in your own ability to handle life with grace. There is a reason why the strongest people are often the quietest in the room. They do not need to announce their power, it is felt. They do not need to prove their worth, it is known. Their silence is not absence, it is presence. It is a statement of strength, of wisdom, of self-assurance. It is the understanding that true power does not always need to be spoken, because it is already understood. Mental strength is not something you are born with. It is something you build, something you train, something you develop through daily habits and intentional choices. Just like physical strength, it requires discipline, effort, and consistency. You cannot expect to be mentally strong if you do not practice resilience, self-control, and emotional balance every single day. Strength is not built in a single moment of challenge. It is built in the small daily actions that prepare you for those moments. The way you start your day matters. Your first thoughts in the morning set the tone for everything that follows. If you begin the day with doubt, negativity, or stress, your mind will carry that energy with you. But if you start with gratitude, with intention, with a focus on what you can control, you train your mind to approach life from a place of power instead of reaction. Mental strength is a result of these choices, choosing to direct your thoughts instead of letting them control you. Discipline is at the core of mental toughness. It is easy to fall into patterns of procrastination, excuses, and distractions. But every time you push yourself to do something difficult, whether it's sticking to a routine, finishing a task, or facing a fear, you strengthen your mind. The ability to show up for yourself every day, even when you don't feel like it, is what separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. Mental strength is built in the moments when you choose effort over comfort, progress over excuses. Challenges will come, and how you handle them depends on the strength you have built beforehand. If you wait until life gets hard to start working on your mindset, you will struggle. But if you train yourself daily, by practicing patience, by staying calm under pressure, by controlling your emotions, you will be ready when difficulties arise. Mental strength does not mean avoiding problems. It means being prepared to face them with clarity, confidence, and resilience. Self-awareness is an essential part of mental strength. Paying attention to your thoughts, recognizing negative patterns, and challenging limiting beliefs are daily practices that strengthen your mind. When you become aware of how your thoughts shape your emotions and actions, you take back control. You learn to replace doubt with self-belief, fear with courage, and hesitation with action. A strong mind is not one that never struggles. It is one that knows how to navigate struggle without losing focus. Emotional control is a skill that must be trained. It is natural to feel anger, frustration, or sadness, but allowing those emotions to dictate your actions weakens you. Mental strength comes from learning to process emotions without being consumed by them. It is the ability to pause before reacting, to choose calmness over chaos, and to respond with wisdom instead of impulse. Every time you practice emotional control, you reinforce your ability to handle life with grace. Consistency is what separates mental strength from temporary motivation. Anyone can feel strong for a day, a week, or even a month, but real strength comes from showing up every single day, even when it's hard. It comes from practicing resilience, mindfulness, and discipline in both big and small moments. It is not about perfection, it is about persistence. Strength is built in the moments when no one is watching, when there is no external reward, when you push forward simply because you refuse to quit. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Every choice you make, every habit you build, every moment you push through discomfort is shaping your mental resilience. It is not about waiting for strength to appear. It is about creating it through daily practice, through conscious effort, through the decision to show up for yourself again and again, no matter what. Peace is not something that can be given to you by the world. It is not found in a perfect situation, in another person, or in the absence of problems. True peace is something you create within yourself, something you protect, something you choose. No matter what happens around you, no matter how chaotic life becomes, you alone hold the key to your inner peace. It is not something external, it is something internal, something only you can cultivate. Most people spend their lives searching for peace in all the wrong places. They believe that once they have more